Hello everybody and welcome back to another 1v1 Beyond All Reason video. We are back on the map Canis River, well loved by all of the 1v1 players, and we have a match between Purpleheart marching on from his fresh victory versus Lopatka, or Lopatka, one of the two. Let's have a look at what we've got from the red player here as they start in the very defensive position at the top. Playing as Armada. Now this position is quite good. It does limit your expansion speed, at least. You can still build an LLT right here to defend pretty well, and you build one just at the top, and you can build your economy pretty well. However, it does take a lot of time to get to all of these extra medal points that you can have if you start somewhere else. As you can see, an extra bunch of medal points as well as a geo in this bottom section of the map. Now this water pit down here, it might not look it, but vehicles and bots can actually travel through this. Ticks can't, I believe, but everything else can work through pretty fine, so you need to be a little bit careful of that. This is a bottom area with some mexes, nothing really that important. Now this area here is pretty heavily contested. It's a good land bridge across to your opponent's area, and following the river along there is of course another land area, and both players have decided to go vehicles here as both players scout meet on the land bridge, and the red player wins. Both players seeming to pick the defensive position up on the high ground. And with the red scout about to arrive, let's switch over to the normal camera. And straight away we see Lopatka managing to deal with that scout, but he has a couple more already on their way, as one does manage to get round the back but gets cut off just in time. And as we press shift space, we can see what Lopatka has queued up. And that is 6 scouts, 2 cons, 2 incisors, con, incisor, and so on and so forth. He's probably got it queued up like that so he can alt-click things into his production queue as and when he needs them. Now, using the commander here to expand, that will help him expand quicker. You can see he's got 1 constructor that's gone off to this double point over here, and he's going to build energy. Now, in theory, you don't need LLTs here. You should be able to use units coming fresh off the production line to defend from a raid. However, we can see Lopatka has left a single incisor on this bottom side here in an attempt to stop any scouts getting through. Lopatka's con picks up that scout pretty well. Both players are around the same sort of speed here, but Purpleheart actually double LLTing here in an attempt to stop the incisors just rushing straight through. Incisors can deal with LLTs relatively well. So we do have an Armada vs Cortex matchup today. Lopatka has been in the 1v1 scene for quite a long time. So at one point was pretty high up the leaderboard. So we'll see whether Purpleheart can win out against such another legend. They have beat X Factor, so who knows. Scouts barrel straight down towards the commander, realize, and then have to try and turn around. Purpleheart unable to get this guy as he's just hidden enough behind this metal extractor to not be killed. These LLTs aren't doing a good enough job at keeping those scouts off, and the double LLT play, it's interesting. Purpleheart will be slower to expand because of it, but in theory, his metal extractors should be better defended. He's also going another radar here as well, as a bit more of a redundancy in case he loses the other one. So definitely a lot slower of a build here. Only just capping these double mexes down here. Hasn't gone for a construction turret yet either. And is slowly building into some solar. Definitely needing more E. Wind is currently down of 4. So incisors need energy to fire. All the blitzes, though, get blocked off and are unable to really do anything. Although apparently incisors don't require energy to fire. No, they do not. Interesting. Whereas see here, Lopatka already has one con turret. Is actually going into a second one. And as we just zoom out, getting a bit of an overview. So we can see here Purpleheart is going over here. He's going to try and build this geo, move up, build defensive line here. Surprised we're not seeing him actually go this way to try and block off this path here. Now, the reason for it is obviously there's more metal down here and it's more valuable to take the geo and stuff like that. You can see this is exactly what Pot has done. Lopatka may very well build this LLT line and then move down here with his commander. Or if he wants to be really greedy, he's going to try and make a play across the river and try and hold off down here. I have often seen it where if a player does manage to get across here, they'll actually build a proxy factory in an attempt to apply pressure from the north whilst they continue pushing units from this side on the right to kind of split your opponent's attention. I don't think we're going to see Lopatka do that, but who knows? We'll find out soon, I guess. So even though Purpleheart's expansion was slower with the double LLT, we're seeing that when it comes to metal production, he is actually ahead. You can see that these 4 metal points up here have not been taken yet by Lopatka, but Purpleheart has got most of them already. It's very close. Purpleheart actually seeming to not go for the geo. He will need a con down there to build the geo, of course. Also choosing to not defend up here, but actually defend further back here. A scout run by does manage to pick up a couple of metal extractors. There are plenty of LLTs, but with the wind still so low, you can see the electric icon appearing over the LLTs. That basically means that they're not going to be able to fire properly whilst energy is quite so low. There are so many LLTs, it's going to prove difficult for Purpleheart to actually be able to get anything here. Although if he does manage to make it up, there's no LLTs actually in the base, and he does spot the air factory. Now that is very important because the potential of a surprise bombing run has just, well, now been gone in essence. So Lopatka has to decide if he's going to keep the air factory, build fighters up, or what. It does seem that that is the plan here, because there's no point going for bombers or shurikens really, as Purpleheart is already building his own air factory and will be definitely investing into fighters because he's expecting that bombing run. Now, a good mixture of solars and windmills here. No E-storage at all, though, for Purpleheart. And no E-storage from Lopatka either. There was a phase where people were basically heavily investing into energy storage. Oh, I lie. There's a single energy storage. Rather than scaling up E-production, scaling into E-storage more, because there's quite a lot of time where you've got a lot of E and you overflow E. So by building more storage, you don't worry about that. Lopatka investing into SAMs. Now, that's not something we often see. You often see them just build the thistles and that's it. But Lopatka building a lot of AA must be expecting a bombing run of his own. Now, what we will see here is potentially Purpleheart invest a lot of metal into fighters here instead. Currently, he hasn't, with only 2. Oh, there you go. 3 scouts and 100 fighters. That's enough. Interesting, I don't know where he got the idea that there's going to be such an air raid coming. Because he's building AA bots as well. Like, he really expects this air to be coming. Very close game though. Metal a second, basically neck and neck. Metal produced, there is 2k metal difference between the players at the moment. That it is a lot, but at the same time isn't. Army value is 1% different between the players. So it could still be anyone's game. A fighter here trying to make its way across to see if he could see bombers, but there isn't any. He does notice there is an air constructor, but I think Purpleheart's probably happy now to kind of assume that there isn't a bombing run coming. And as you can see now, he's just doubled down in investing into more and more tanks. Actually investing into advanced solars here. Does finally have a couple of energy storages up as well. You can see his max energy store is 16, with wind now at a good speed of 13. Both players are just kind of presenting their forces just across from each other here without really doing anything. Surprisingly, both players are just kind of ecoing up. Also interesting thing here is that Purpleheart is defending here and not here. I mean, of course he sees this army here. So yes, you need to build defenses here or units here. There is nothing here. So far, pretty much Lopatka can just go like this. And just walk straight through past all the defenses. Get the Geo. Swing around, get the Geo, and just move straight through. Yes, they'll have to deal with 2 LLTs there. And in theory, once these units are spotted moving, these can move up, but...
Game started.
Yeah. Armed metal extractors being built down the bottom, as well as some twin guards by Lopatka, which will make this a pretty hard area to push into. Tech 2 going up now from Lopatka at the 12-minute mark. And it looks like we're probably about to see the same from Purpleheart. Yep. Just building an extra con turret as he goes into it. Plenty of metal to build this pretty quickly. Probably a temptation to maybe even eat this, but he's got plenty of normal solars that he could eat up. 2,300 metals worth of normal solars. He has plenty of energy, so that might be the good time to do it. Nope, decided to eat the air factory. And who gets the constructor out first? Surprisingly, it's actually Purpleheart managing to get the constructor out first, merely by seconds, but Lopatka did start the construction of this factory a lot sooner. Lopatka also with less solars to burn through if he needs to reclaim them. But both players heavily coming up. Now eating all of the Tech 1 solar here in an attempt to get more metal to get these Tech 2 metal extractors up as quick as possible. We do see bulls queued up from Purpleheart. Whereas on the opposite side here, only constructors queued up from Lopatka. And this is the most docile 1v1 on this map I think I've ever seen. As such, let's speed it up, shall we? We do see some defenses going down in the choke point by Lopatka. Lopatka has invested a lot more into defenses than Purpleheart has. As we look across the map, we can see plenty of the flamethrower, dragon claws, twin guards, a lot of defenses being positioned pretty much all over the map. And not really the same from Purpleheart. He does have a bunch of nettles, which is the thistle equivalent. A couple of LLTs and a single beamer, but not really that much to write home about. He hasn't really even built that much of a strong defense up here. He could have gone for cloaky mexes in an attempt to slow his opponent down, but no. Both players happy to just slowly build up. Jammers and radar coming out as part of the Tech 2 Factory's production, as long with Tigers. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see a Tsar. Yep, there we go. Tsar and Banishers. Not only that, but we're seeing a Fusion anti-nuke planned. Meanwhile, only Bulls from Purpleheart. As soon as that Tsar shows up, it might prove difficult for Purpleheart to deal with only Bulls. And actually, it seems like he realizes that as he builds Starlights in the queue as well. He does have a Fusion already. You can see most of those solars, Tech 1 solars, have been eaten up. There was 2,700, I think it was, metals worth. Now only 1,200 remain. And so far, all of the Tech 2 force is positioned along the top side. Tick spam starting to come out from Purpleheart. He is aware his opponent is Tech 2 now due to the vision. No Tech 2 up here yet for Purpleheart. He's waiting for the Tsar, Lopatka. And as this Tsar slowly approaches, as soon as the Tsar arrives, that's when it's gonna hit the fan. Whereas Purpleheart looks like he's gonna try and pressure along the bottom instead. Ooh, the Starlight rocks at the same time. Purpleheart not spreading out his tanks though, getting a lot of splash damage. Now starting to spread them out. And the tick spam coming out gets vision. And the Starlight just outranges the Tsar. He needs that radar jammer next to the Tsar, really. All the defenses that were built up, all for naught, as this one Starlight just slowly picks apart. He knows all of these are Dragon Force, so he's not going to push into them. Surprisingly, he's not using the Starlight to manually shoot them down. At the same time, we see a Tsar and a Banisher appearing in this mess in the bottom corner. A second Starlight on its way to the Tech 2 forces of Bulls here. Oh, and are we about to see an attack by Lopatka? First Banisher shot away. How does Lopatka have that vision? Oh, just scout. Purpleheart not paying attention. The Tsar does get taken out pretty quickly, but there's still enough forces here that they still may be able to break through. As well as now 2 Banishers. 2 Bulls get taken out. Tech 2 defenses and a good group of T1 tanks making their way down. And the push does manage to get stopped. Still, ooh, that was a big explosion of blitzes. I wish there was a con, but I collect 4,280 metal just sat right here, and I bet you most of that is in that Tsar. 1k in that Tsar. Purpleheart definitely needing a radar jammer here in order to protect the Starlight. No scout spam from Lopatka yet. Either player really wanting to make a big impact. Ooh, interesting. So Lopatka completely removing Tech 2 factories and now going dragons instead. I don't quite know what's going on right here with this kind of dragon on dragon action. And the Tech 2 spy plane did manage to make it close to the base. Tech 2 air was detected. Don't know if he saw the dragons, but now with 3 dragons making their way across, the entire army of Lopatka heading south. But at the same time, Purpleheart has also gone Tech 2 Air and Razorbacks. Now, this will be the fight. There is a big army of Purplehearts still on this top side. But can Purpleheart stop this attack? 3 dragons, plenty of tigers, tanks, incisors, everything. The 2 banishers. Not only that, there's a vanguard in the back. Most of the fighters of Lopatka get shot down. The dragons rerouting now, attempting to go for this advanced Geo. This advanced Geo is completely unprotected. No AA there at all. And there goes the advanced Geo. Huge energy loss for Purpleheart. This army continues to push through. Purpleheart's commander in danger. Cloak, Purpleheart, cloak! He has the energy. He's able to keep walking for now. He needs to send Razorbacks down there to try and catch this army. At the same time, Purpleheart is pushing forward. Purpleheart's comm about to get detected by incisors. Incisors find the comm. Lopatka knows. Spreads out. Tries to find the commander. Purpleheart having to deacon for his life and does not manage to kill them all. Purpleheart losing to Lopatka. That was extremely close. If Lopatka's commander had managed to survive there, it was still anyone's game. Purpleheart had Tech 3 heading straight towards Lopatka's base, as well as all of the Tech 1 tanks and Tech 2 tanks. Purpleheart's victory run ends. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.